Today, I want to show you pan-seared salmon two ways. One with the skin on, one without, because I cook them quite differently. With the skin on, I like to solve for crispy skin and a bit of slightly burnt salmon fat flavors. The flesh will be slightly on the firmer side and you get more good fishiness out of it. Without the skin, I like to cook it gently so that the salmon is barely cooked and you could flake it with just a touch of a fork. Both are extremely tasty, depends on what you feel like. So let's deal with skin on first. Now, first thing you want to do with the back of the knife, you want to check for any scale that your fishmonger left. In this case, well done to him. And now, because the moment this hits the hot pan, and we want the pan to be really hot to caramelize the skin, this will curl up, and to prevent that, we score the skin. The easiest way is to grab it and fold it slightly. Then you simply take your knife and you make shallow incisions, and that's it. Now, you want a really hot pan. Once the pan is hot, any high smoke point neutral oil, be a bit generous. Once the oil starts to shimmer, you take your fillet, skin side down, and you lay it away from you. Make sure you hear the sizzle. That's it. And immediately, you press down with your fish spatula to maximize the skin's contact with the hot pan, the hot oil. And this is what's gonna cause the Maillard reaction. Protein, high heat, making the salmon taste more salmony, if that's a word. And the beauty of this method is, you can tell from the side of the fillet that the flesh is changing color as they cook. So they're turning from this bright orange to a pale pink color. And that you know how much the fillet has been cooked. And for this method, because we're solving for crispy skin, we're going to do what's called the single-sided searing. We want to cook the fish about 70% from the skin side to maximize the time the skin has with the hot pan. And then we'll turn it once for the other side to kiss the pan and finish cooking. Now, once we're almost 70% there, we flip. And to prevent this side from sticking, I like to baste it with a bit of fat to begin with. Fish spatula. Now, you have to be a bit careful. Look at the beautiful skin. And since this is 70% cooked, the other side literally needs 30 seconds. Perfect. Now, we take out this beautiful fillet to rest while we prepare a very quick sauce. You might have noticed I did not salt the salmon, precisely because the garnish we're gonna use. First, we skim off some of the excess fat. And now, very simple, we take a bit of shallot. You can simply slice it. Shallot goes straight in, and this will cool down the pan immediately as well. A bit of garlic. And you cook them a bit to evaporate the water content and to concentrate their flavors. The recipe is just a guidance. You can use any aromatic vegetables for the recipe. So whatever you have in your fridge, onion, leeks, and you cook them to concentrate their flavors. And they'll mop up any burn bits from the skin. And that's why you see the shallots taking on this beautiful color. Now, precise reason we did not salt, we're gonna add a generous amount of capers. Capers, the salinity and the acidity would really cut through the fish fat under the skin and balance that slightly charred flavor. Some black olives, cut them in half, just for them to cook faster. Again, this will bring a lot of acidity to balance the fish fat. The olive brine also goes in for extra acidity. Very last minute, a bit of parsley. Once the parsley's in, stove off, give it one final mix. And now you can adjust the seasoning, the salt. Perfect. Serving plate, generous amount of garnish. At the bottom, because we work so hard for the crispy skin, you don't want to put this right on top and steam the skin before your guests could dig in. And this beauty sits right on top. You can add a gentle drizzle of olive oil if you wish, and that's crispy skin salmon done. Now, the skinless version. You want the pan at just medium heat this time. And this time, we season generously with salt. And again, generous amount of oil. In this case, we're recycling the previous round of fish oil. Now, this beauty goes in. Not much sizzle this time. Very, very gentle heat. And again, we use the side as our guidance. And this time we want it to get to 40% gently. We'll turn, another 40%, and the residual heat would cook the whole thing to perfection. If you want to probe and be precise, I never like to let my salmon go above 61 Celsius. So for me, 55 to 61 Celsius is the sweet spot. But salmon is very forgiving, so I wouldn't sweat over it. While that's gently sizzling, we prepare the second round of garnish. Very simple. We have some chestnut mushrooms here. You can use any mushroom you have in your fridge. We remove the stems. You can wash your mushrooms, by the way. You just have to do it right before cooking so they don't turn brown. And we slice them relatively thin. It looks like a lot, but they're gonna shrink down once they hit the pan later. Perfect. And this time, we mince some shallots. We're 40% there, so we turn. Very little color, as you can see. And we dice a bit of tomato, just the flesh. The seeds, they have very little taste and they would make the sauce very watery, unnecessarily watery. Once you can't see the bright orange anymore, stove off and you let it rest. And it will finish cooking with the residual heat of the pan. Perfect. Carefully remove the flesh. Set it aside to rest. We once again remove some of the excess fat. Stove back on. And this time, medium-high heat. We're gonna make a very quick jus. First up, the chestnut mushrooms. And even though it's a different recipe, the same principles, they apply. We evaporate the water content to concentrate the flavors. And to help them get started, we'll season with a bit of salt. This time around, a bit of black pepper as well. They always go well with mushrooms. You see the steam coming out? That's the water content evaporating. And there's a lot in most mushrooms. Once the mushrooms are starting to brown, now shallots, they go in. Now again, through evaporation, we're gonna bring out the sweetness of the shallots, which will counterbalance with a bit of acidity from the diced tomato. Now mushrooms are slightly browned, shallots are translucent, tomato concassé, they go in. And you want to just cook them slightly. You don't want to cook the crap out of them, you know? We're not making a pomodoro sauce. So they retain some freshness, some acidity, some vibrance. Small dash of water to deglass the pan and create a beautiful emulsion. You should not be able to see the water at the end. This is just to help them emulsify. Now you taste and you adjust for seasoning, stove off. And for this, we take a bit of basil, roll it like a cigarette, and you slice to not bruise the basil. Perfect. Basil in, give it a mix, and once again we plate. Beautiful. Once again, beautiful piece of salmon sits on top with a beautiful basil leaf, and that's it. Salmon, two ways. Crispy skin, tender flesh. Try both and see which one you like. I really, really hope you enjoy. Wait, let's do that again. Where's my wine?